What you?
Hey, Miss Shawnette, how are you today?
I'm doing quite well today.
Well, that's good to hear. What brings you into the office today?
Well, I really, I just want to talk to somebody.
You want to talk to somebody about what? What's going on?
Um, I I really don't know how to explain it, so I guess I can just um. It's like I didn't. My mother really didn't bring me up, so um. Then I lived with her sister, and it's just hard because when living with her, even though I had a better life, it was still hard because I still was treated, not nice.
And when you said not nice, what exactly are you saying? Can you talk about that?
Um, I can try. It's like how you like if you when you're younger. I mean, I got toys and clothes, but when it came to really like feeling loved, I didn't get that.
So you're saying that you missed out. You got material things, but you
Yeah.
did not get the emotional feelings of love and feeling like you're cared for. And do you think they had anything to do with all of a sudden your sister had to take on someone else?
Um, I don't know because I was a child, so I'm
And what
I
age was what age did you go live with your sister?
um, from a few months old on and off, and then I believe I was about 6 that I stayed and just till I was 16.
So let's go back a little bit, okay? So that we can get some understanding. What was going on? Did they tell you what was going on with your mother? What was happening? Because that's a young age going back and forth, but you remember that clearly. Do you
Mhm.
remember the relationship you had with your mom?
Um, yeah, I mean, my memories of living or being with her are not nice.
Mhm, mhm. You didn't feel stable.
No, see, my she was with my father at the time, and he was an entertainer, but he also he drank, so there was a lot of abuse in the home. He was abusing her. He didn't hit me because I or my sister. He they would be fighting.
So the memories, like you said, were not good because of the fighting that was taking place. What was the ages of your sisters?
She's younger than me. It was just one.
Mm-hmm.
So if I was 6, she might have been 4 or 5. Because we're like 18, 2 years apart.
Mm-hmm. And did you have an older sister?
No, I'm the oldest.
You're the oldest. Okay. So at 6 years old, you remember going to someone's home. And who was that?
That will be my aunt, my mother's sister.
Your mother's sister, your aunt. Okay. And did you feel any type of relief?
I did. I mean, I was, happy there, but I mean, looking the relief I would say it was that I didn't have to worry about, being afraid and just fearful, because I was very fearful and timid little girl. So I was happy in that sense.
And you're happy in that sense. And so let's talk about your relationship with your aunt. The memories, did you have any, the good memories of, what were the good
I
memories?
I mean, like I said, I had all the material, toys, but I just was um I never felt like that safe, that I was safe, but I never felt that in my heart, like that, it was just like growing up with a hole in your heart.
With a hole in your heart. Yes. So do you feel it? Do you feel that this affected you as you got older? This
Yeah,
hole
because
in your heart?
I could even remember about 10 years old, wanting counseling, and nobody paid me no mind. So I knew I had, issues. I knew something was wrong with me, but it was just like, you know, we just wash that, put that to the side and keep living. See, my aunt married, her husband was a beautiful man. He really was, but they were very proud type of, they had money. So it was like, for them, taking me was like, oh, you got your niece, that's so great. But what about me? What about her needs, like that people can't see, but yet everybody knew, oh, that girl, that little girl was, her daddy was a drunk. Her mama and daddy fought and blah blah blah. So I heard all that. So obviously I knew that, something was wrong.
You knew something wasn't right because let me ask you this. When I hear you say that it was like they were showing a face to the world, but to you it wasn't the same thing. And you saw
Right.
this. And it almost was like it was fake or their feelings. Um, and when you said the word proud, it made you feel like they was taking on charity, basically, what you're saying.
Yes.
And that's how you felt. It was like they were bragging how good I am and everything. But you never reached to how good they could be to you if they gave you more emotions or hugs and
Yeah.
everything. Did you ever get those anytime, a hug or
Yeah, I did, but it always came with, you know, like you come here and you better take this. You need it because you're this and you're that. But yet, they will hug their son, and it was a difference.
and you saw the difference, you felt the difference and how they treated you and how was the relationship with your that would be your cousin.
Oh,
How was that relationship? Yeah.
he thought I was his sister. I loved him. I protected him, and you know,
Mhm. Let me
and see,
ask you, right. Uh-huh.
I was like good in sports, like an athlete. So I would have to train after school and,
Mm-hmm.
do different things. I was in every sport and I excelled in it. And I was, I was training for like Bermuda
Mm.
to be, I could have been representing Bermuda, but because I didn't have the support and, push to do it, I ended up going that astray.
You put it astray.
I got sidetracked.
How did it make you feel when you were running? It was track, you said, right? And other sports. How did that make you feel?
I loved it. I loved it because I think I, but it had to be in me. But I used to think, when I was younger, that I was running, I was running fast so that, I can get away, get away. But that's how children think. That's how we comprehend things. But
Cope.
I
That's how
can
you were
remember
coping.
the faster I run, I can get. And yeah, I ran fast and I won. I came first and everything. So it worked out for my
Yes.
good.
Wow. Yes. But the limit came because you felt there was no motivation,
Well,
no one to help you, support you in it.
like they had coaches that were calling, like
Wow.
we want to train her, and certain times I was able to go, and then a lot of times I couldn't go because I had, she's got to do that. I'm like, and I think I got really hurt one time in one of these sports that I couldn't participate in, and this was um like first league playing with, being
Mhm.
trained with women. So and our scout picked me up in high school.
Mhm. Hmm. So it seems to me that you found so much joy in that. That filled in an empty place for you.
It
But
sure did.
still, here it goes again, something blocking what you love, blocking what you love, blocking how you could get love. So we take this on when we're going to look at this and we're going to see how has this affected you in your life as you go, as you've grown, as you've gotten into relationships. Have you seen this come back on you, or have you have you seen how it can?
Because it's been very difficult to express, my what you call it, love or feelings towards, the opposite sex. So it's more as, you don't talk and people strong. So communication was oh, I just didn't have it. I would give, I gave you this, I did this for you. I just clean your house. I would run ragged doing because I overcompensated because I just didn't have the skills and didn't know how to say, yeah, I like you or I love you or hug you, and just wasn't there.
So you protected yourself. You protected yourself, and you wouldn't. You almost like you have a wall. You've created this wall over your life.
That's what they used to tell me. You have a wall up and you need to put that wall down. And I had no clue what they were talking about.
Mm-hmm. Do you now understand what it means when you have a wall up?
Yep.
Have you ever seen that wall come down? Have you ever been able to just love wholeheartedly
Yeah, and it
without
got
holding
me,
back.
but yeah, yeah, I think I did, or I at least
Hmm.
attempted to.
Hmm.
And oh, it got me in a big hole of a mess.
Because once you did it, you went all the way,
And
and
it
that
was,
wall went back up.
well, it had to go back up in order for me to save my sanity.
Let's talk about, tell me about that. You said that it had to go back up to save your sanity. Are you
Because
ready to talk about that?
yeah, I went, you know how you get involved with someone and you know you just go full-fledged deep into a relationship and you don't know if you're
Mhm.
coming again, and
Right.
it's not the right person. So
Mhm.
it, you know, he was the wrong person, but it was at the right time. So, you know, it was, you know, I went through a lot of abuse mentally, physically, emotionally. So I just carried on that same type of life into into a, you know, I grew up like that, and then I was in it for about, I'll say 8 years.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So
I had
you said for 8 years you were in a relationship that was
abuse
toxic, really not good, abusive. And that's the word that's the word we want to use is abusive. And so when we look back over your life, you said, I grew up and I saw this. And because in your mind, there was no way to get out of that because you weren't taught that. You were taught to accept abuse,
tolerated.
tolerate the abuse. So what gave you the strength to
I
no longer
just,
tolerate it?
well, I've been in and out of constant, like, since maybe when I got um 20, 19, 20, 20, maybe 22. So I'm always trying to, you know, understand and better myself. So I've been in constant for almost my whole life. But like I said, I just keep repeating the same thing. I never got no further than, okay, you live with your auntie, your mother let you go, you was abandoned and blah blah. So it's like,
Mhm.
when am I gonna be able to escape? I'm been at this mountain long enough. Can
Mhm.
I move on to somewhere else?
Right, right. Can you change your story?
Yeah, like,
Can the narrative change? And do you think that that narrative can change?
um, yeah, maybe I didn't think that it could change. That's probably why I
Mhm.
was stuck there. I didn't think it, and not realizing that it was me. I wanted the conflict to change me.
Right, right. But you have to have that mindset that you want a different story. You want a different outcome.
I think I wanted a different story, but just I was looking for somebody to really help me, to guide me to get that story. But the story has to come within yourself, and then you can pull it out.
Yes.
I
Let's
I I,
talk about
I
that.
had it all wrong.
You had it wrong, huh? So have you been able to pull whatever that is that you're talking about out now? Do you feel that you're making the steps?
Yes.
Because what I was hearing, and I could be, just let me know if I'm right.
Mm-hmm.
You had an empty, you always talk about that hole in your heart. And you always were looking for someone to fill that hole. And most of the time, the hole was filled with people who really weren't meant good for you.
Exactly. Yes.
So when you got into that situation, your hole just got bigger, your walls went up. So I'm asking you right now to just take a moment and let's think about this. Let's talk about that hole because it seemed like you still got a little bit of hole there.
Yeah.
And we yeah, let's really look at that. And this is called like visualizing. What if you had to have that hole filled? What would take a moment and think, what would you want it to be filled? Who would you want to fill? The type of people you want to draw to you to help fill that. Because right now, if you got walls up, they can't get there. And then you have this big gapping hole where you said that you still feel like something is missing.
Well, I think the ultimate whole filler would be my dream, what I would love or wish that I had would
Mhm.
or could get there would be having a mother that loved me and cared for me, provided for me, and because that's all children want,
Mhm. Mhm.
and that's something that I never got.
So let's talk about that feeling. I like the way you said that. You said that I wish I had a mother. I wish I had um, who could love me like that. So can you do me a just take a mother because you are a mother. So what I'm going to do is tell you to just hug yourself right now. Okay, just take a moment because you have to learn to love yourself, right? So that's what we're doing right now. We're loving ourselves. Okay. So tell me a little bit about your sister and um the younger sister.
Yes.
Tell me a little about your younger sister. Because if you was feeling that way, imagine how she felt, right? Was it a difference in treatment or
Oh yeah, because
mm,
I mean, when I was out of the house
mhm,
at 7, I'm gonna say 7, but
mhm,
in between there's years I will be, I'll sleep over my aunt's
mhm,
weekends for a week, maybe a month. So I
right.
was back and forth. And I mean, I have a memory of my father fighting my mother, beating
Mhm,
her. She picks up my sister and runs out the house and leaves me. So
mm,
I'm like, okay. So I start running, and my grandmother didn't live not too far, so she was running to my grandmother's, and I'm running behind her, way behind her, because I'm a little girl. And so they get to my grandma's house, and she's like, oh, I remember everything, and was like, well, where's Shawnee? Where's Shawnee? And
mhm.
I'm coming through the trees by myself. So I mean, that's just one. I have many memories of, you know, coming to
Right.
he
Where's your sister now?
she lives, she's alive, but
Yeah. Are
sh
y'all close or mm,
no,
because it looked like even with that, there was a bond, it looked like the mother put something between y'all because of the way that she gave the one more special treatment. And so when I was looking at it and I saw where it said you was running and I connected, you understand what I'm saying? And when you said you always was running to get away, that's where your speed came from. That's where that come from, because you consistently had to run, and that's run by yourself. Running was getting to a purpose, getting to a destiny. So one of the things I see is that you still you're carrying it in you, and we still talking about that whole. You said you didn't have that mother loving, caring. How are you? Do you think that you treat people the same? Is that affected, or do you think that you look at it and you say, "Hey, I'm going to give that love"? Or you, like you said in the beginning, you said that sometimes you hold it off. But how have you moved forward?
I think I'm gotten better, much better. There's always room for improvement, but I had to, make myself,
Make yourself.
even with my children. I have children, so it's like,
Mhm.
they got everything they needed, but I was so busy trying to provide, keep a roof, feed them, and I forgot about. I didn't forget. It was hard for me to hug them and just. But my son, I really, my oldest two was, you know, and I'd be like, I couldn't even tell him. I couldn't even say
Right. Right.
it. So it was
Yes.
like, God, how are you
Yeah.
nuts? But
You can see it in yourself.
yeah, and it was like it really affected me bad.
Yes.
But
Yes.
I had to just make myself say I love you. And
Mhm.
now I just it comes out like I could tell them.
Yeah, you can tell them now. Yes. So you
I
saw
mean,
that growth
and
because
I mean
you.
it's been a while, but
Right.
um, I can say, there's words can come out and they flow and they
Mhm.
have meaning, they have substance behind them. It's not just
Yes.
talk. So
So it looked like you yourself was filling that hole.
mhm.
You started filling that hole. You became the mother that you never had. And you transcended that to your children.
I had to because I didn't want them to grow up like me, but yet they they were growing up like me to a degree because
Mhm. You can see it.
they weren't getting what they needed, which was to be loved.
Mhm.
Truly.
Yes. The words and things that children want. Of course, we
Yeah.
want the materialistic things, but that
I mean,
hug, that kiss, that time, yes, it
so
was extremely important to them, the encouragement. And then
mhm.
you took the opportunity to see for yourself where most people would just continue to allow that generational thing to happen,
I couldn't do it no more.
but you couldn't do that. You can allow that. And so that's the positive thing that you have created for your story. That when you saw something wasn't going right, you changed that pathway. You changed the way that story, that reframe. That's it's called reframe because you changed the story, the narrative of your story. I'm very proud of you. I know that It's difficult when you're building up walls and you're trying to bring them down a little bit at a time, you know, and so I want you to continue to be aware. And one of the things that I pray for a lot of my clients is that they can love freely like God loves us.
That's
We
right.
accept people's mistakes. He accept our mistakes. He loves us continuously, but we never want to stay in anything that continues to hurt us. And
Yeah.
the thing is that you just love so that you can be loved and love yourself, because that's so crucial. And so, is there anything else you want to talk about um, that you want to mention? Just want to take a deep breath. Yes, you did an excellent job. So I will see you next week. Okay. And
Okay.
you're behind on your bill. So you need to hurry and get that straight. Okay. I'm just messing with you.
I will.
All
Thank you.
right. All right. See you in a minute.